Hi, my name is Elizabeth Krasnoff, and this is a short demonstration on how to use binaural beats. I am currently a PhD student in the Transformative Studies program at CIIS, where I study the effects of binaural beats on the nervous system and brain. I am also a sound practitioner, heart math practitioner, and energy practitioner, and my practice is called sound medicine. So today I want to talk to you about how do I use binaural beats. One, let's look at the definition of what is sound healing, because binaural beats are a tool of sound healing. Two, we will look at what are binaural beats. And three, how do they work? Here's some basic definitions to start you off. A vibration is an oscillation, is a wave. An oscillation is a movement back and forth across a midpoint. So when we're talking about brain waves, we're talking about oscillations or vibrations. Frequency is how fast that vibration goes, and we measure it in hertz. Everything has a frequency, not just your brain waves. And lastly, consciousness. Let's define that as awareness, the ability to create a relationship once you are aware of something, right? Because we're going to be looking at states of consciousness when we look at the brain waves. Sound healing. Sound healing is the educated and conscious use of the energy of sound to reach identified goals and promote wellness in the human system, including the expansion of consciousness. And it's founded on the premise that all matter is vibrating at specific frequencies. The two main properties of sound healing are entrainment and resonance. And binaural beats are really an example of entrainment, which is when one rhythm causes another rhythm to synchronize. We send one rhythm, it entrains another rhythm, and the two resonate and synchronize. Resonance is when two like frequencies meet and amplify or release stored energy, potential energy. Brainwave entrainment, which is what we're going to look at with binaural beats, is the capacity of the brain to naturally synchronize with the rhythm of periodic external stimuli. Binaural beats, what are they exactly? So Dr. Gerald Oster published in Scientific American in 1973 the first clinical evidence that electrical brainwave patterns resonated to precise frequencies. What does that mean? To make a binaural beat, you detune a frequency by a small amount. Let's take 440 hertz, which is the note A. If we want to make a binaural beat, we will put 440 hertz in one ear, in one headphone, and then 448 hertz in the other ear, and then put the headphones on and listen. The brain will notice that there is an 8 hertz difference. The brain will deal with that 8 hertz difference. Remember, that's a wave measured in hertz, 8 hertz. The brain will mimic that wavelength and produce it in an attempt to regulate or create a new balance. And when the brain does that, it creates a state of consciousness in your body that correlates to that numerical description. So if you're going to listen to a theta binaural beat, then you will expect the qualities of a theta brainwave to occur in your body. But there's one thing I need to say here, and that is that binaural beats are all in your head. For once, it is all in your head. So if you're not wearing headphones, you're not hearing them. The claims of binaural beats are that they can affect your brain states, they can affect your autonomic nervous system, your well-being, enhance your consciousness, and synchronize your brain hemispheres. My work is to study all of the clinical controlled experiments in the last 5 years and determine whether there is evidence for that. And as it turns out, there is. Let's just take a really quick look at the auditory pathway that allows for binaural beats to be heard. Regular sound comes in through your ear, as you can see in the diagram here, and it travels up through your brainstem and back out to your auditory cortex. So that's sound waves from an external environment coming in, going through the water of the cochlea and becoming electromagnetic frequencies or waves, your brain waves. Now, that's the path of normal sound. Binaural beats seem to come in through a secondary pathway, the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is a bundle of nerves and neural pathways in your brainstem here. And we only know for certain that brain waves, that binaural beats come in through your ears and get to your superior olivary nucleus. But we don't know where they go from there. So the theory is that they join this reticular activating system and enter your brain that way. Now, what does that mean? So these are the brain frequencies and the cognitive states that correlate to them. Gamma, up at the top, is the fastest brain state at 35 hertz or above, and that can bring you to a place of concentration. Beta is our everyday state between 12 and 35 hertz. It's anxiety dominant, active, external attention, and relaxed. Alpha, between 8 and 12 hertz, is very relaxed, passive attention. Theta, which is 4 to 8 hertz, is deeply relaxed and inward focused. And delta is 0.5 to 4 hertz, and that's sleep. So what does it mean to send in a brainwave through the reticular activating system and correlate to those states of consciousness? Well, the reticular activating system has 3 sleep arousal states: waking, slow wave sleep, and asleep and dreaming. What it means is that perhaps, as the hypothesis goes, you are activating your internal ability to modulate your states of consciousness, and you can achieve everything from a high alert waking state like gamma or concentration all the way down, let's say that's 5th gear, down to 1st gear, which is delta, asleep and dreaming. So that's the hypothesis of how this works. How can you use binaural beats? First of all, use good headphones. As we've said, it's all in your head. Second of all, establish your relaxation protocol. Where do I listen? What else do I do? Do I do some breathing before I listen? Do I recite a mantra? Do I do some meditation? Thirdly, keep a binaural beat journal. What is my stated goal? Am I trying to achieve creativity or concentration or meditation or sleep? Did I achieve my goal? Next, you want to record how often in the week did I use binaural beats? And then lastly, how long did I use them for? So you might say, I wanted to achieve a state of creativity, and I used them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I used them for 30 minutes. You want to give yourself at least 15 minutes with a binaural beat to really allow the brain to entrain to that state. And then you might want to note if you did feel more creative or not. And what did you do to get into that state? Did you do breathing? And what do you do when you're stuck and you can't get into that state? That's another thing to note. Did I come up against any resistance? What are my protocols for when I have resistance? Do I take a walk? Do I have a cup of tea? Do I step into nature? Do I call a friend? What do I do when I face resistance? Or you could put on some theta binaural beats, which often help you drop into a meditative state and release your resistance. So these are the ways that you can have a very active and successful binaural beat practice. Let's just review 3 key learnings that we learned here today about binaural beats. 1, external frequencies can entrain the brain. 2, binaural beats, the difference in those frequencies, can elicit brain entrainment. And 3, through selection of these binaural beat frequencies, we can induce states of consciousness. Thank you very much for your time. You may contact me at the information there listed on the screen if you have any questions, and I wish you a great journey with your binaural beat practice.